Welcome back. We're back towards the lower end of today's trading session, just within 7 points away from today's low of 17,654. And there are three stocks which are, pressuring the Nifty lower. On the one hand, we have Reliance, which has moved to the low point of trade. The other, HDFC Limited, has moved to the low point of trade along with HDFC Bank. So the HDFC triplets, actually, Nigel just did allude to HDFC Life, which was struggling. And the third one, which is underperforming in today's trading session right now, is Bajaj Finance. That one too has moved to the low point of trade. So these factors are actually putting a bit of a lid on the gains that we're seeing on the index currently, just around the low point of today's trading session. But remember, it is a day of lower volumes as compared to the regular days. And it's also a day before the holiday and a day after the holiday as well. So a good time to get in our D Street chatter coming along. Nimesh joins us. Nimesh, I have two questions for you. One, how difficult was it to get to dealers? Because one, not a lot of them are working today because of the sandwiched working day. And secondly, for most part of the day, WhatsApp was down. So how did you manage to get the insights?
Well, Mangalam, WhatsApp was not a big challenge because most of them can't talk on WhatsApp,
right.
Because of the new regulations. But yeah, a lot of people are on leave, so not everybody is as unlucky as what we are. We still have to work on after pre-Diwali and post-Diwali as well. So I think that's the challenge of a media work. But anyway, as you rightly pointed out, that's exactly my point as well. Well, the markets have given up sharply in the last half an hour, 30 minutes of trade, but the volumes are on the lower side. And I'm saying volumes are on the lower side because if we exclude the expiry-led volumes, then the volumes actually are on the lower side. So that means that the participation is on the lower side, and that's why the domestic funds, the actual executors are pretty much on leave or on holiday. So that's why you're not seeing large volumes or large activity from the larger institutions in today's state. So that's clearly playing out. I guess from a trend point of view, we are still in the range between 17,200 and 17,800. Towards the top end of the 17,800, we see some bit of profit booking, and that's playing out in today's trade as well. Having said that, while the Nifty is still in the range, there is a lot of action outside the index as well. Right. So the big example today is the PSU Bank Index. Within the financials, the PSU Bank Index is up 4%. A lot of stocks are buzzing in trade today. On the other hand, there is a bit of profit booking in the private bank stocks. That was a feedback since morning that there is a bit of selling pressure in the private bank stocks, ex of ICICI Bank. That was the overall feedback. But still, the PSU Bank is where the whole action seems to be. Even in the mid-cap, I just want to put out that point that the mid-cap index is up close to half a percent, and there is a bit of momentum today. But in terms of flows, it's the other way around. There is a bit of basket selling at a leading FI desk in the mid-cap stocks. The mid-cap basket is what I mean in today's state. So, while the screen may look green for the mid-cap index, there is a bit of selling. So that suggests that at higher levels, there is a bit of profit booking coming in the mid-cap space as well. I guess expiry is going to be a crucial thing on Thursday, but the near-term trend will be largely on the earnings. That's been the trend for the last many days, and that's likely to continue at least for the next few days because of the earnings season. So that's something to watch out for. As things stand, a bit of consolidation happening in today's trade, but I guess two things stand out. The big rally in the PSU bank stocks, and despite the index up 0.5% in mid-cap, there is a bit of profit booking by the larger institutions.
Individual stocks.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Nimesh, what about individual stocks?
I think that's the most important part, right? Everyone's waiting to hear about the individual stocks that you're looking at, Nimesh.
So, okay, Sonia, so in terms of individual names, the first stock on my radar today is NHPC. Again, the entire PSU theme seems to be buzzing, and that's standing out in today's set up 5% on very good volumes. The stock is actually on a bit of a technical breakout as well. And surprisingly, there are multiple buyers as well at the few FI desks. So there is institutional buying now in NHPC. Remember, 2 weeks back, CLSA put out a big report, and they have a big coverage on the stock as well. So there is a bit of institutional activity back in NHPC. That's the first one. The second stock is Maruti. Sonia, you track it very closely. There is buying interest back in this particular stock, largely from the larger FIs. And today there was a Goldman upgrade as well. They've upgraded the EPS estimates by few percent, and they've raised the target price as well. So there is a bit of momentum ahead of the earnings in Maruti. So that's the second one. The third stock is South Indian Bank. All the small PSU banks are buzzing in trade, and South Indian Bank is also buzzing in trade, largely on back of very strong volume. So the stock, not only for today, but for the last few days, there is a bit of volume surge as well, and the stock is up 13-14%. For the first time, there is a small buying interest as well with the larger FIs. So it looks like some institutional activity is back in South Indian Bank. So that's the third one. And the last stock is KPIT Technologies. Within the technology names, post earnings, that stock is up 10% or more than 10%. On very strong volumes. And again, in KPIT today, there is a bit of buying interest back from larger institutions, though small, but there is a buying interest, and hence you're seeing an outperformance in KPIT for the third day running.
All right, Nimesh, thanks so much for that. By the way, you know that Punjab Alkalis we highlighted